Have you ever wondered how some people climb the corporate ladder rather fast and some stay stuck for several years? How come that two people who have graduated the same year, have the same age, end in two different places after a couple of years, and one is earning 100k a year while the other one is gaining only 50k a year? The reason for that being is that there is actually a secret strategy behind this, which the successful employees know and the unsuccessful ones don't. Don't worry, let me break it down for you. Like I've said, basically there are just two types of players in the race of the corporate ladder. Type 1 are the unsuccessful players, those who think or believe that success and income is directly correlated with time. So basically there is a salary-time correlation. And there is a different type, the successful ones, who have understood the secret strategy behind the success, and which I'm going to share with you in this video. Before we jump into debunking the strategy, I want to show you a brief quote from Jim Rohn, which basically explains the principle behind the strategy. So listen carefully now.
Here's the big challenge of life. You can have more than you've got because you can become more than you are. That's the challenge.
So think about this for a minute. You can have more than you've got because you can become more than you are. This is a very deep quote, and it totally makes sense. This quote basically states that there is no salary-time correlation, or no direct one, but there is a salary-value correlation. The correlation between the salary, what you get paid for, and actually what do you bring to the table, what you have become. Hold on, I get if this sounds too complicated for you, I got your back. Let me explain this one with a visual graphic and with some numbers so it makes more sense to you. So here in this example, I'm just drawing a three-dimensional coordinate system. On the y-axis you have what you get paid for, your salary. Then on the x-axis you have the time, which is passing. And then on the z-axis, so it's a three-dimensional coordinate system, you have what you have become. Let's say for now we are comparing two people, here illustrated in blue and in red. Both people stay in their company for 2 years. Right? So they've graduated the same year and they're staying in the company for 2 years and working for 2 years. So blue now is a person who did a good job, did basically what was expected, maybe did a bit more than was expected, but that's it. So this person become a bit more, but red instead in these 2 years have become a lot more. So this person grew a lot more in taking more responsibility and taking more ownership about tasks, maybe supporting the line manager a bit more, being more cross-functional, so having also other tasks, right? So having more skills now than before. And these are all things how you can become more, right? Going the extra mile. As you can see, red is far more advanced in this journey. So now you might ask yourself, all right, that's cool, but how can you actually capitalize on these gains these persons have made in order to become more? Let me tell you how. There are basically 3 ways to capitalize from this. The very first way is the traditional one. It's basically asking for a raise. So you're talking to your line manager, to your supervisor, and say, hey, you have become so much more, like you're taking more responsibility here and there, so you think it's okay to have a raise, right? So that's basically the first alternative. The blue person did that way, asked for a raise. Then there is a second option. Not asking for a salary raise, but actually applying on the job market for a different company, for a role where actually you had to become more, right? So basically now you're looking in the market for a role, which is basically what you are right now. And there you have a better leverage to negotiate your salary because you're completely new for this company. But also there is a third option, what you could do in this situation to capitalize on these gains. And let me show you again a quote from Jim Rohn, which explains it perfectly.
See, the major question to ask on the job is not what are you getting. The major question to ask on the job is what are you becoming? See, the big question is not what am I getting paid here. The big question is what am I becoming here?
All right, so what Jim basically said is there is not only salary the way to compensate you, but also the opportunity for growth, right? So basically you could ask internally if the company is offering you some opportunities to really hyper accelerate your way of becoming more faster than any other company out there could do it for you. If that's the case, that's also a very great alternative. Let me show this one also again graphically how it would look like. So instead of 2-year horizon, let's say it's another year, so 3 years. As you have more opportunities to grow, let's say you have the chance to become even more in these 3 years, and you could now then after 3 years capitalize on these gains and get a lot more money on the market because you have become so much more, and the company you are in offered you this opportunity to grow faster than any other company could have. This strategy is the reason why we have so many differences in people who really accelerate in their career and the ones who don't.